Alright, so our third and final video of this week is volume of cylinders. This should be pretty simple. Y'all do well with the cylinders. So I'm just going to go through the formula and give you a few examples. So there are two things I want you to remember. The first one is what the formula for a circle is. So remember, the area of a circle is equal to pi r squared. This is going to come in handy because remember, the volume formula is the area of the base times the height. And since the prism is, a cylinder is a prism with the base of a circle, you need to know that formula. The second thing you need to remember is that your diameter, so if I give you the diameter, you need to remember it's twice the radius. So you're basically going to take the diameter and divide it by 2 to get the radius. So just remember those two things. So all these examples, I'm asking you to find the volume. So I'm going to write out our volume formula. Volume equals base times height. Remember, it's the area of the base times the height. And I told you the formula for area of the base is pi r squared. And then we still have that h, the height on the outside. So when I look over at my picture, I see that my radius starts in the middle, goes to the edge of the circle, is 11. So I'm going to fill that into my formula. So you have pi times 11 squared times the height. Remember 11 squared right here, this gives me 121 pi. And then when I look over at my diagram again, I want to look at the edge that connects the two circles. That's 7, so I know my height is 7. So then the last step, of course, is you do 121 times 7. That gives me 847 pi. If you want to turn it into decimal, that's fine. I'm not going to in this video just for simplicity. And then your units are miles cubed. So there's your volume for this cylinder. So example 2, again, your volume formula is the area of the base times the height. When I look over here, I still need my radius, but I'm not given the radius. I'm given the diameter. It reaches from edge to edge of the circle and goes to the middle. Remember, your diameter is 2 times the radius, so that means I need to take half of my diameter to find my radius. So when I take 18 and divide it by 2, I find that my radius is 9. So I can start plugging everything in. I have pi r squared. I'm going to put times h. So I've plugged my radius in. Pi times 9 squared times h. 9 squared, or 9 times 9, gives me 81 pi. And then when I look over at the edge or the side that connects my two circles, I see that it's 12. So I know that my height is 12. My last step, of course, is I do 81 times 12. And that gives me 972. And don't forget your pi at the end. You don't have to multiply it out. You can leave it just like that. And your unit, your measures, your units of measure would be feet cubed for your volume. Remember though, like on your assignments, you're going to put 972 and you're going to just write out the word pi. Alright, so example 3. Again, these examples go really quick and y'all are usually really good at them. We take the area of the base times the height. So I first need to find what my radius is. I'm given the diameter again. It goes all the way across. So my diameter is equal to 2r. I know that 24 is equal to 2r. And to find r, you just divide by 2. So I find that my radius is 12. So I worked it out right there just in case you didn't know how to. So the area of my base is pi r squared times h. Pi, instead of r, we now have 12 squared times, I come over to my picture, I see the line connecting the two circles is 11, so I know my height is 11. To simplify some of this out, you still have pi. 12 squared leaves me with 144 times 11. Just to rewrite this to make it look better, I'm going to put 144 pi times 11. And your last step, you multiply 144 times 11, and it gives you 1,584 pi kilometers cubed for your volume. We have 2 more examples. Remember, if you're good to go, you only have to watch until you understand. So our volume, area of the base times the height. I was nice to you here, and I already gave you the radius. It goes from the middle to the side. So I know that 6 is my radius. When I look at the side that connects the two circles together, I see it's 11, so that's my height. And I can officially plug everything in. So again, I'm changing that area of the base to pi r squared because our base is a circle, times the height. So pi times r is 6, so 6 squared times 11. That's what our height is. 6 squared gives me 36 pi times 11. And your last step, you take 36 times 11, and it gives you 396 pi yards cubed for your volume. And our last example, just to make sure you have it, volume equals area of the base times the height. You have pi r squared times h. Again, I give you the radius here, so my 4 is radius. And the side connecting the two circles, our two bases, is 10, so that's our height. So when I plug this in, pi times my r is 4 squared times my height is 10. So that now becomes 4 squared changes into 16, so 16 pi times 10. And your final step, you take 16 times 10, and you have 160 pi meters cubed for your volume. So you do have an assignment for volume of cylinders. I've only put like 5 questions on there because it should be pretty simple. I did include a word problem or two just to kind of see if you can go from word problem to what we did today. But if you have any questions, remind, Google Classroom, email, or come to my tutorials. Have a good week.